Hi viewers, this is J. Swami, Assistant Professor of Zoology. Today we are going to discuss the transport of carbon dioxide apart from the transport of gases under the topic respiration. Transport of carbon dioxide takes place in three ways, in three forms: as dissolved oxygen of about 7% of carbon dioxide transported, as the carbamino compounds 23% of carbon dioxide get transported, as bicarbonates 70% of carbon dioxide transported from tissues to lungs. As we know, as a result of various metabolical activities, the food material which is get absorbed into the cells or the tissues undergoes oxidation and finally forms CO2 and H2O, some amount of energy. This CO2 which has been formed due to the metabolical activity like the respiration will be expelled out from the tissues. That is happening through the exhalation, as we know. So this CO2, 7% of CO2 transported, expelled out, otherwise that reaches the lungs from tissues in the form of dissolved CO2. And whereas 23% of CO2 that reaches lungs in the form of carbamino compounds, and remaining 70% of carbon dioxide transported in the form of bicarbonates. So carbon dioxide transportation takes place in three forms: dissolved CO2 7%, as carbamino compounds 23%, as bicarbonates it is of about 70% of carbon dioxide get transported from tissues to lungs. First of all, see one by one. As dissolved CO2, here 7% of carbon dioxide that is mixed up with the water and transported to lungs in the dissolved status. It is contributed of about 7% of CO2. Now, here there is a interesting thing, that is, if you observe the solubility of carbon dioxide and the oxygen, the solubility of carbon dioxide is 24 times greater than the solubility of the oxygen. 7% of carbon dioxide transported in the form of dissolved CO2, and if you compare the solubility of CO2 to O2, then solubility of CO2 is 24 times greater than the solubility of the oxygen, so that the CO2 mixed up with water and transported to lungs from tissues in the form of dissolved status, dissolved CO2. That is the first kind of transportation of the CO2 from tissues to lungs. Then coming to the second kind of transportation, where the carbon dioxide get transported in the form of carbamino compounds. It contributes 23% of carbon dioxide transports in the form of carbamino compounds. As we know, the oxygen combined with the hemoglobin and form the oxyhemoglobin. In the same way, the carbon dioxide also get combined with the hemoglobin and forms the carboxyhemoglobin, as we know. But here there is a special case where the carbon dioxide get attached to, for example, this is the hemoglobin, this is the NH group of hemoglobin. This NH group of amino group of hemoglobin combines with the CO2, and then forms HB NH COO minus plus H plus ions. Here this is the carbaminohemoglobin. HB NH COO minus is the carbaminohemoglobin. So like this, in the form of HB NH COO minus, in the form of carbamyl hemoglobin, 23% of carbon dioxide get transported from tissues to lungs. That is, the carbon dioxide enters into RBC and mixed up with the amino group of hemoglobin and forms the carbamino compounds. So here 23% get transported. CO2 attached to amino group of hemoglobin results the formation of carbaminohemoglobin in RBC. So here below we will see the equation form. HbNH2 that gives rise to the plus CO2 gives us the formation of HbNHCOO minus, that is the carbaminohemoglobin. Then coming to the third one, in the form of bicarbonates. 70% of carbon dioxide get transported in the form of bicarbonates. Now, the formation of bicarbonates takes place in RBC. How? The CO2, as and when it reaches the RBC, it mixed up with the H2O. And here, formation of H2CO3 takes place, that is the carbonic acid. The CO2 plus H2O get combined together and form the carbonic acid is always takes place under the presence of a special enzyme which is known as a carbonic anhydrase. This carbonic anhydrase is present in the RBC, thereby carbon dioxide and water fused together to form a component, unstable component, let us say, that is carbonic acid. As and when the carbonic acid is being formed, due to its instability, due to its less stability, this H2CO3 carbonic acid get degraded into H plus, that is proton, and HCO3 minus. This is a bicarbonate. HCO3 minus is the bicarbonate. Right? 70% of carbon dioxide transported in the form of bicarbonates. Formation of bicarbonates takes place in the RBC. The carbon dioxide, while it is moving from blood capillaries to the RBC, it mixed up with the water under the catalytic activity of the carbonic anhydrase. That results in the formation of carbonic acid. The carbonic acid is a unstable component or less stable component. As it is less stable, it is get dissociated into H plus and HCO3 minus. H plus and HCO3 minus. Now, these HCO3 minus ions are present now in the RBC. Bicarbonate ions, now they are present in the RBC. They have the negative charge. These negative charged molecules, they migrate from RBC into plasma. They migrate from RBC into plasma. Now, here in the plasma, there is a sodium chloride which get degrade into sodium and chloride ions, sodium plus and chloride ions. Now, how many number of negatively charged molecules like bicarbonate ions, how many number of bicarbonates migrated from RBC into plasma, that many number of negatively charged molecules like the chloride ions, they migrate from, shift from plasma into RBC. This is known as the chloride shift. As we discussed that, here in the RBC we have bicarbonates. These bicarbonates migrated from RBC into plasma. How many number of bicarbonates migrated from RBC into plasma? That many number of chloride ions, that many number of chloride ions shifted from plasma into RBC. See here, bicarbonate ion has a negative charge. How many negatively charged particles, molecules, they migrate from RBC into plasma? In order to compensate that, that many number of chloride ions, they shift from plasma into RBC. This is known as the chloride shift. Otherwise, it is also known as the Hamburger's phenomena. What is the chloride shift is? Due to the instability of the carbonic acid, it get dissociates into H plus and the bicarbonates. These bicarbonates migrates from RBC into plasma. Now, how many number of bicarbonates migrated from RBC into plasma? That many number of chloride ions, they shift from plasma into RBC. Such a kind of phenomena is known as the chloride shift. It is first explained by the physiologist Hamburger. Now it is named after him, that is the Hamburger's phenomena. Hamburger's phenomena. That what we should understand is the number of bicarbonates migrated from RBC into plasma, that is being compensated by the shift of chloride ions from plasma into RBC. That we should remember. This process is known as chloride shift. Otherwise, it is also known as the Hamburger's phenomena. Now here, there are the H plus ions inside the blood. Now due to the presence of the H plus ions, these H plus ions comes in contact with the hemoglobin, as we know. Then thereby the hemoglobin becomes acidic. That is, there is a increase in the acidity of the blood. Thereby there will be a gradual decrease of the pH. Gradual decrease of the pH. And whenever, as we know, the pH, low pH, that results in the release of oxygen from the HB. So we will see this in the equation form. Here 70% of carbon dioxide get transported in the form of bicarbonates. They formed in the bicarbonates formed in the RBC. H2O plus CO2 under the catalytic activity of the carbonic anhydrase, they form H2CO3. this H2CO3 dissociates into H plus and HCO3 minus. This is a bicarbonate. This bicarbonate being migrated from RBC into plasma, that is known as the chloride shift. That is known as the chloride shift. It was first explained by Hamburger, so that it is known as the Hamburger's phenomena. Here we will see CO2 entered into RBC here. This CO2 mixed up with the water and forms the H2CO3. This H2CO3, due to the instability, it gets dissociate into H plus and bicarbonate ions, and now this bicarbonate, it migrated into plasma. How many number of bicarbonates migrate into plasma? That many number of chlorides they shift into RBC from plasma. So here the protons which are present in the form of H plus ions, they comes in contact with the oxyhemoglobin and enhance the acidity of the hemoglobin. Due to the enhancement of acidity, due to the low pH, the HbO2, that oxyhemoglobin releases the O2 outside. O2 outside. This is nothing but the chloride shift. Now, another thing what we have to discuss is, this is the chloride shift. How many number of HCO3s they enter into outside? They enter from RBC to plasma. That many number of chloride ions they get inside. They shifted inside. Coming to the Haldane's effect. What is the Haldane effect is the binding of O2 to hemoglobin, binding of oxygen to hemoglobin reduces the hemoglobin and CO2 affinity. Right? That is, deoxygenation of the blood increases its ability to carry carbon dioxide. If there is a deoxygenation, the binding sites they will be remain free, so that it bind with the carbon dioxide. Conversely, oxygenated blood has a reduced capacity for carbon dioxide. If the Hb is full of O2, then thereby the Hb tend to show less affinity towards the carbon dioxide. This is the Haldane's effect. So we should remember all the named process like the Hamburger's phenomena, chloride shift, Bohr's effect and the Haldane effect. Most of the times they will be asked in the competitive examinations. So we remember the name, but we should remember the process, what is really happening, what is going to happen under that process. Right? We will compare the Bohr effect and the Haldane effect. What happens in the Bohr effect is, it is the effect by which the presence of CO2 decreases the affinity of Hb for O2. This is a Bohr effect. Whereas it is effect by which combination of O2 with Hb displaces CO2 from Hb. Simply, in other words, we will say, due to the presence of CO2, O2 get released from Hb. O2 get released from Hb. That is the Bohr's effect. If Hb and O2 are mixed together during that time, otherwise whenever the O2 partial pressure is more, that time CO2 released from carboxyhemoglobin, otherwise it shows less tendency towards the CO2. That is the Haldane's effect. So it is today we discuss the transport of carbon dioxide in which forms. So as dissolved CO2, as the carbamino compounds and as the bicarbonates. And what is chloride shift, Hamburger's phenomena, and what is Haldane's effect. This is all about the transport of CO2. So here there are certain events. Most of the times the chloride shift, otherwise the Hamburger's phenomena, or the Bohr's effect or Haldane effect, all of these very important in the competitive examination point of view. So please don't forget, remember all these principles and their things that will be happen with that names of the rules. Thank you one and all.